Hello, everyone, and thanks for coming back for another Tacos and Vegemite episode.
Tacos and Vegemite are one listener thus far.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying.
Shout out to him. Leave a
Shout
comment,
out.
bro. Tell us what you want to hear.
And your name, please, and location.
Yeah,
Venmo.
address, social security number.
If you want to Venmo us or Zelle, we could provide you that information as well.
Yeah, or subscribe to our OnlyFans, bro. All right, fucking. So I've done a little bit of deep diving on gooning. This is the topic. I've got the definition, but I want to hear your definition. What's gooning, Robert?
So, hey, quit using my real name, Josh. So
Joshua Dixon from Bunbury, West Australia.
Robert Garcia from Bunbury, West Australia.
Yeah.
Robert Dixon from Garcia's not my real name, but anyway, we a few weeks ago we heard a podcast on the origins of gooning, correct? So
something along those lines, yeah.
So gooning is it just kind of just jerking off all day without coming?
Yeah, it's kind of in the ballpark,
Okay.
I guess. It's one of those things where there's no real solid definition. There's even debate within the gooning communities as how you define gooning.
So there's gooning Discord groups that disagree with each other?
There's gooning Discord groups. I joined the call, and left within like 10 seconds because it was just 20 dudes like, oh, fuck yeah, all on a call together, jacking off. But that's where the argument comes in. Is some will argue that it's
A group thing?
it has to be solo. It has to be masturbating. You can be in the same room as someone else, but there can't be like interaction between multiple people. Otherwise, you're not gooning anymore. You just
Jerking each other off?
yeah, exactly.
So, being honest, we're recording this in our boxers, correct?
You're completely naked, mate. We're about to start gooning ourselves. But I got the definition of gooning from Urban Dictionary, which I don't know who wrote it, but it's a little all over the place.
Is it just as good as Wikipedia almost?
I need to find the Wikipedia definition. This is just the first one that popped up.
Let's hear it.
Right. Gooning may be most simply defined as that state usually achieved after a prolonged edging session, when a man becomes completely hypnotized by the feeling radiating in his penis. Since a gooning state can only be achieved after edging, the man's dick will have become mightily aroused at this point, and every caress the male genitals are subjected to will trigger potent elation. As the man keeps edging and thus keeps experiencing intense pleasure, he enters a state of trance where his mind intimately merges with his cock, the gooning state, where he and his dick become one. To be even more accurate, when the gooning state is achieved, the man's body becomes for all intents and purposes an appendage to his erection. When this state is achieved, the male becomes freed of all social codes of conduct, and his arousal alone dictates his reactions. As a result, a gooned out man will become very expressive and demonstrative. He may become very vocal, while his body and face might take on an undignified expression and poses, all in response to the intensely exquisite caresses his penis is exposed to. Hence the term goon, since at this point the man effectively looks like silly, foolish, or eccentric person.
Hold on. Wait. So the audio version of that, or no, not the audio, but when he's expressing himself, he's just basically coming.
He's not coming. It's a huge part. Now, here's one problem, right? Because women can goon.
That-
And this
that was
focuses
my-
on cock.
That was my other question. Are women allowed to goon? Or is-
Absolutely. Women
is-
are allowed to goon.
Okay.
Yeah. So it continues. Gooning is not a narcissistic manifestation. Narcissism is extreme selfishness with a grandiose view of one's own talents. Rather, gooning is closer to a meditation experience where the mind and body align, focused on a single thought or feeling in this case. And then an example, I spent 10 hours gooning over the weekend.
Jerking off but not coming.
Yeah.
Isn't that edging?
Yes. But the point of edging is it makes you come harder down the line. Whereas the point of gooning is it's the jacking off itself is the part that is the gooning, or like the porn watching. The actual finish line
Just watching
doesn't matter.
porn.
Yeah, just watching porn and jacking it. Or, other forms of self-pleasure, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of the debates of definitions of gooning.
So that could be eating, that could be smoking, that could be any other vice that gets you pleasure.
Technically leans towards sexual pleasure.
Okay.
But then even it does start getting a little questionable. See a lot of weed, a lot of poppers, drinking, and then like meth pops up a lot, and a lot of gooning. So they're like, oh yeah, it enhances the experience. And like, dude, you just high as shit watching porn.
That's great. That is great. It's like you're using a PT, drugging, like people who use them steroids for sports.
Yeah, it's a performance-enhancing drug.
Performance-enhancing drug.
Yeah.
PEDs.
Giving you super gooning capabilities. So I did find the gooning and the goon state start appearing on Urban Dictionary as early as 2005.
So some of the things that we heard on that one podcast is the goon was usually just like an idiot, like a henchman.
Yeah, gooning is like an old English word for like the lowest rung muscle.
The muscle, the guy who has no brain. You and I would be the mafia boss, and then we would send a henchman to go rough up some
the goons to go
rough up some people, go get our debts.
Yeah, although it doesn't gain any sort of notable popularity or awareness until around 2019 when it started to go viral on Reddit. So it's one of those things that's been sitting there in the background, just lurking, and then boom, out into the open. And now it's a full-blown thing. I looked at some of the subreddits. We're talking 500,000 to 1 million subscribers.
Jesus Christ.
And if we know anything about most social media groups, is like the majority of people don't subscribe or follow groups. They just come back periodically. Or they don't even have an account. They just...
want to read the dumb shit that's on there?
Yeah, so it's higher user base.
So one of the things that we heard on that podcast was people were meeting up to goon.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that
the group gooning
the group gooning session? Is that true, or what?
Seen a few, but it
what do you subscribe to, Josh?
I subscribe
to individual
gooning subreddits. Obviously,
no. Is it to be a goon? Do you have to do it as an individual, or
I would say
does it enhance it when you're with someone else?
From my research, I would say it's not gooning unless it's solo, but there can be someone else there. But they have to be doing their own thing.
They have to be doing their own goon? Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to jerk off with someone else jerking off next to me.
You're obviously not a true gooner. Because a true gooner would be wanting to enjoy this spiritual experience with someone else.
And cheer that brother on in the goon state?
Yeah. You got it, bro. I think I'm going to come. No, you got this. You can push through.
Okay. All right. So why are these dudes just having sex?
So that's where it gets interesting. There's some recurring themes that pop up in a lot of the content. You've got a lot of like, you'll never be able to get a woman, might as well settle for porn.
Is it like incels?
Definitely incel type stuff pops up. But here's the thing with gooning is it's like a fetishization of porn addiction. It's like a fetishization of like the very act of becoming addicted, which is where it gets extreme. But it's like one of those things. I think it's like a self-defense mechanism for people who genuinely like it. Subconsciously they know that they're not going to get laid, and so they find an alternative outlet as a way to take away that negative experience and turn it into something enjoyable.
Like empowering themselves.
Yeah, because you could just sit there and be like, I'm fucking unlovable and no one wants to fuck me. Or it'd be like, porn is my goddess and I love my goon cave. And then just get turned on by like videos of women telling you that you're a loser.
Jeez, that's nuts. I don't know. I mean, I could always go for a good jerk off session, but I'd rather have a woman.
Yeah.
Any normal dude would. I guess I'm not a true gooner, like you said.
Yeah. Then I think a lot of the theme I'm seeing though is a lot of virgins. Like a lot of dudes who I don't know if you know the stats though, but like guys like 18 to
Do they choose to be virgins, or is it harder?
no, it's today like men I think 18 to like 30, like a third are virgins. It used to be like a fifth,
Losers.
and it's getting worse. I think obviously there's huge changes in dating strategy. I mean, even just from me going from like 18 to 22, I was kind of around when dating apps hit Australia, and it shifted crazily. But I was lucky enough to have those 1 or 2 years of talking to women and shit. Yeah,
pre-COVID and all that shit.
learn all that sort of stuff. And so, yeah, there's definitely a large community of dudes out there. And then, of course, huge amounts of people are addicted to porn. They just don't realize it because they're not thinking about it like...
Let me ask you a question about that addiction to porn. And, you know, same thing going back to a video that we watched a few weeks ago with demonic possessions and how they sorry to bring this up, but
okay, yeah, keep
and
going.
you know, and how they bring up like porn or addiction to porn is also a demonic possession.
You think we're going down some like
do I believe it? No, I think it's just, you know, some people just like.
Some people will go full like religious with that.
I think
but like it's actual demons. Some consider it more of like a metaphorical demon.
I think it's so dumb. I mean, it's just pleasure. You're not hurting anyone.
Yeah. Well, the problem is
maybe you're hurting yourself because you're not active.
Well, that's where it gets interesting. So I don't. It obviously addiction is defined different depending on who you talk to. But a lot of the clinical definitions say something's an addiction when it's negatively impacting your life, but you don't stop doing it. How do you define negatively impacting? That's where it becomes...
Yeah, I mean, if you have a job, if you're able to hold a job and have enough money to have a nice goon cave, as you say.
Sure. If it's impacting your ability to socialize, it's impacting your ability to have a romantic life. Definitely there's lots of stories of like relationship breakdowns because someone's obviously addicted to porn and doesn't really realize it. So it's like how, you know, if it's... So this is where I got into it. So I went to the science behind porn addiction. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole.
Let's hear this.
Okay, so...
And how does this relate to gooning? Okay,
so first off, in the past 10, 15 years, access to porn skyrocketed, obviously. I think we've gone from... I missed the magazines era growing up. That was never a thing. But we had the VHS.
I had the magazines.
You had to, yeah. And you obviously...
And the VHS sucked because you had to find the fucking footage you wanted, and those VHS sucked because sometimes it would do way too close with dudes' balls or their faces or their assholes. So it wasn't the best. Nowadays, it's a lot better.
Yeah, so then that's the other one is with widespread accessibility, we also now have wide selection of options. You used to go to a
POV.
Yeah, you could go to like like a rental store or something, and they had the selection.
Go to the back.
You couldn't be like, I'm looking for 18-year-old Malaysian girl wearing this outfit, and you scour through 10 videos, you find exactly what you're on, what you're into, and then that reinforces what you're attracted to, and so you get more and more selective.
Yeah, the search function in porn sites is pretty awesome.
So the other thing is early porn exposure, particularly up until about 25 years old, is because of how neuroplastic your brain is. You're far more likely to become addicted to it. Your brain is just farly more likely to rewire the dopaminergic system in place. That, and then of course the normalization of porn and sex work has increased the willingness of people to do it, create more porn, which is why there's more stuff. I mean, remember being a porn star used to be a thing you didn't want people to know.
Right.
Unless
now
you were
it's
a full blown, you would like that was your lifestyle.
And now you know, with
you got girls
Instagram,
parents,
TikTok,
I do OnlyFans, and I make money, and their dad's like, I support you, clap, 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 clap,
man,
clap.
thank you for buying me this mansion.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, with TikTok, Instagram, OnlyFans, the sexualization of these people are able to Yeah, they're able to easy to find what you want
And
as
then
a consumer.
now that it's widely available, the monetization aspect of it also introduces like business marketing to it. Porn before used to be you went to get your porn from the porn place. It was either a video store or it was like a sex shop. You actively sort it out.
Right.
Now they can just put it in front of you.
On your phone, on your laptop, on your
It's literally going like
tablet.
my dad sends me like shots of ads that pop up on his Facebook because he will get banned and recreate new accounts constantly because he
Is your
swings
dad
wild.
is your dad a troll?
He's opinionated and he's on Facebook, but he'll be like, "Why am I getting adverts for like, burqa girls going wild?" And it'll be like a Muslim thing. He'll be like, "This is insanity," or some wild like, "Come to Thailand. This is where the ladyboys are" cruise, and he's like, "I don't want a ladyboy cruise." Like,
what's up with your dad's search engine?
Yeah.
Huh?
So it's like, it's just there, and so that comes back to the early porn exposure. Is it's super easy to be exposed at a young age. I read through a bunch of stats. Numbers are all over the place depending on where you are. Average age a kid is exposed to something pornographic is 9. And the way that most have defined pornographic is nudity to some extent.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Growing up, we would watch movies and see people topless, or back in the 80s when those raunchy comedies were coming out. It was pretty normal to almost every film had a girl topless in it. Now it's like, those type of movies can't be made. With my
They
with
rate
my
them better and make it clear to parents, don't show your kids this one.
well, I mean, even with I don't have children, but with my nephew and niece, we would watch it. Now they're like, oh, cover your eyes, or no, we can't watch this because they cuss. And I'm like, we would watch that shit and we came out all right.
Yeah. I think, because I distinctly remember being like 8 at my mate Jacob's house, and his older cousin had his girlfriend around, and fucking she like took her shirt off and her bra slipped up with it. We both were like, holy fucking
Nice,
shit.
nice. No,
But now the average thing that a kid's exposed to, when they talk about like early porn exposure, they're seeing porn. They're not seeing like a pair of tits anymore. They're
no,
seeing,
for sure. Yeah, I mean, I remember going over to a cousin's house, and we were just hanging out, and there was a bunch of us, and they would just throw porn on there. And we were probably like 5th, 6th grade, maybe.
Damn.
And I'm like, no, it's not like any of these dudes were jerking off, but we were just hanging out, talking, and in the background there'd be porn.
Yeah.
Which was weird, but hey, to each their own,
I remember the first porn I saw. There was this kid named Islam something or other in like the 8th grade, and I think I don't know if you saw this. It was like a viral one. It was clearly CGI if you look at it today, of a girl getting fucked by a tiger.
No.
This was one of those ones that was like semi-viral. It was around the time that like Mr. Hands getting fucked to death by the horse was going viral. And I remember seeing that and being like,
12, 13,
why the
14
fuck are you
years ago.
showing me this, dude? This is insanity. And then someone showed me hentai, like Japanese cartoon porn, and he was like, what do you think? And I was like, you're fucked, mate. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
See, I don't get into that shit. I don't understand how people watch CGI or animals or cartoon shit. But I mean, is it big? Is that type of shit big in the goon culture?
It pops up. I saw maybe like 1 in 20 things was
It's about
animated
5%.
or something. Yeah, maybe 5%, maybe a little less. Most people are out there just looking at regular women. The content, a lot of like gay and trans stuff as well, with like encouragement. It's like, you've gone so deep into gooning, you don't even think about women anymore.
I think people are the internet and Reddit, where you're kind of able to be anonymous, allows you to express if you're in a different shit or shit that your culture prohibits or sees you less than, allows you to see, like you said, tranny or gay porn, and all of a sudden you're cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm not cool with it, but all of a sudden you're allowed to watch it and not be judged because you're in your cave gooning.
You're in your goon cave. Yeah. There's a recurring theme in a lot of them as like your addiction has slipped so far that you're into XYZ. Like there's that theme. It's like, oh, you're only into girl cock. You're only into watching black guys fuck white women. And it'll be this theme like, you're the beta loser, this is what you're into. Or it'll be, imagine yourself as the woman in this position. And it all repeatedly brings up that idea of, you got yourself here through your addiction.
So they're blaming you.
They're fetishizing it, which is the crazy part. They turn it into a fetish of like, oh, you're fucking yourself up. And then there's a lot of like, fry your brain for porn, destroy your life for porn, fuck yourself up for porn, stuff like that.
And people do this, and people are following this.
People are into it. I don't think the majority of people who are in the
That's
groups
the extreme.
are like
That's the extreme.
fully into it. Yeah. But there are ones in there that exist. I found a few examples of people. There was this one on Twitter called the Giggly Goon Clown. I watched a documentary on this guy as well. Had what could be effectively considered a small cult, where he was converting people to jack off to fart porn.
Remember, all religions are cults, but not all cults are religions.
Yeah. And then this dude uploaded a video of himself jerking off to a video of his own asshole, which was like wild for like 4 hours straight as well.
It was just like a still image of his butthole?
Yeah. Which like, so there are some people who do go down the rabbit hole. I think a lot of them in there definitely have an addiction if they're coming back to that and not just going to the fat tits subreddit.
Yeah.
Or something simple. Or just go to
BBLs, big
Pornhub
booty
or whatever.
Latinas or whatever.
Yeah.
What about, so, I don't know if you have this in your questions or not, or in your notes, women gooning. When you gave that definition of becoming one with your penis and one with your erection.
So what I did find is women statistically far less likely to become
Goons?
porn addicts in general. So this is where I go. So I did some research back in my higher education days into something called dopamine reward prediction error.
Josh is also the world's number one resource for gooning.
Yeah, number one, yeah. Have you ever heard dopamine reward prediction error? I know
Yes.
you studied psych, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for our one listener, I'll give you a quick definition now, but for everyone. So dopamine reward prediction error. When your brain releases dopamine, it doesn't just out of nowhere. Your brain primes itself for the release, and it predicts how much it thinks is going to release. It doesn't control the release itself, which is the weird part. Got me, but primes itself based on the expected reward. When the reward is lower than expected, the dopamine release feels unsatisfactory and impacts future release from that same scenario.
So higher release in the future?
Lower. So your brain now expects it to be lower, and it will adjust itself accordingly.
Okay.
Because now you have a repetition where your brain builds a pattern and it starts to respond similarly.
Is it kind of like...
That's why you couldn't jerk it to the exact same video every time.
Is it like you become resistant?
Effectively, yeah. You desensitize yourself to an extent. When the reward's greater than expected, though, the feelings are greatly enhanced. So the thing is, when it's beneath, it's even though you got a dopamine release, it doesn't feel good. But if it's higher, it feels really good, but your brain immediately recorrects itself. So when you come back to that, now it expects the reward to be higher. It's not going to hit the same. Or even if it does hit the same level, it's where you expected, which means it doesn't feel as good as the first time.
So when you say like you were priming, your brain primes, is it just like the act of, all right, I'm going to check on the internet. This is my website.
No, it's quite literally your brain it recognizes the pattern and it preps the synapses for that release, and it even preps the sensitivity of the receptors so that your brain becomes increasingly or decreasingly sensitive.
Fucking brain.
Stupid ass brain. So the brain's super good at predicting the reward from repeated exposure. Obviously, the more and more you get exposed to something, the more your brain knows what to expect. Certain things can be enjoyable at a same standard every time. But it's one of those things where you do need to mix it up or give yourself time in between so that you can forget. We do know in terms of like memory research, our memories are garbage after like a year or two. Most details just dissipate into a general idea, which means that your ability to predict can go up and down. But obviously no one's watching a video and then waiting 2 years to come back and jack it to that one again.
Well, I mean, if you put a tab on it, you could be like, okay, I saw this on January 1st, 2022.
Put it in your notebook, your goon log. Yeah.
Your goon log.
So what happens, right?
Your goon diary.
Yeah. So effectively, you come back to the same thing that previously you were exposed to something, and it was like, holy shit, that's so much more intense than I thought it was going to be. You come back, it's not as good as it was the first time, and so you're more likely to start chasing that initial high by looking for alternative versions or things that fit the theme. Obviously, you can't recreate anything exactly. There's obviously going to be some variation, even if it's the same actors, the same scenes, same activities. Something's different in some way, whether it be camera angles, timing, whatever. The brain learns to predict, adjust its reaction. The desensitization motivates people to seek out content which could potentially exceed their expectations. So they start getting more niche with it.
Going down those rabbit holes for something different.
And inevitably, you're going to find something that exceeds your expectations.
Tentacle porn.
Yeah, tentacle porn. Or something along those lines. That one thing that the thing is with dopamine reward prediction is your brain's expecting a certain thing, and it doesn't matter what it is, something new comes in, as long as it's not a turn off, your brain will just disregard it. So this is where we start to get into why guys are far more likely to become addicted is...
Because we have primate brains and primitive...
Sort of. So dopamine or baseline dopamine has a bidirectional relationship with baseline testosterone. And so as a teenager, when your testosterone levels go through the roof, your baseline dopamine goes through the roof. That's part of the reason why, like, when you're 13, you see a girl's ass, you can't look away. Your brain's just shuts off.
I'm 42 and I still can't, I see a great ass. I'm still looking at it.
Crazy testosterone, bro. So, yeah, guys are far more likely to do that. And then some parts of like neuroscience research show that the part of the brain that regulates disgust can be suppressed by the part that regulates arousal in men.
2 girls, 1 cup?
Yeah, 2 girls, 1 cup. They think it goes back to like an evolutionary thing where if we were fucking and then we're like, ooh, this girl's gross, that meant we weren't continuing the species. So the brain learns to shut it down and prioritize fucking to the point where it's like detrimental. There are still species out there like deer, for example. I think they start fucking and a bear can walk up to them and they won't stop.
Right.
Because they're in the middle of it, and we have some version of that where our brain will shut things down. Like this comedian had a joke. I can't remember who it was, but his thing was like, if he was fucking this girl and she's going back and was like, remember how your grandma's house burnt down and she died? Yeah, that was me. And you'd be like, when I'm finished, we're going to have a talk about this. We're willing to push through to just get that release. And then because our baseline levels are so much higher, I mean, we're talking 300 nanograms a deciliter for testosterone would be considered pretty damn high for a teenage girl, whereas that would be considered disturbingly low in a teenage boy. Like, you probably need to see a doctor about that. So we're talking guys having on average 10 times as much baseline dopamine and testosterone compared to girls the same age. It does start to get a little closer as they get older, but guys are generally quite far ahead. So we're always more susceptible to becoming fixated on things. And then that brings back like tentacle porn, for example. You start watching a video, you did not know it was tentacle porn. Out comes, I don't know, like a silicone tentacle dildo or something. And you're like, well, I'm not opposed to this. So it's a dildo.
Got a hard on.
Yeah, it's a dildo. I'm halfway through. It's basically the same thing, but your brain will now cement that tentacle and associate it with the rest. So there's a chance that next time you go looking for a video,
you might search tentacle porn.
Fuck, I'm gonna put tentacle in the description and just see if it only obviously predicated on the fact that the video you saw that introduced it to you exceeded your expectations to some extent.
Nice.
Because that's what's gonna push it through a bit further.
All right.
So then the question here, so this is where we get back into gooning a little bit. So how do you avoid this cycle?
That's dope. What you just said is, deep dive, a mental deep dive that I had no clue that we were going to go into
Yeah.
this topic.
So if you were going to become a gooner, but you didn't want to go down the rabbit hole too deep, how would you avoid the cycle? This vicious cycle of, oh my God, that was amazing. I'll look at it again. Oh, that wasn't that good. Let me check something else. And then finally, oh my God, I found something. It's good. And then I'm back to looking for other shit again.
That's a good fucking question. I don't know. I mean, how do I stop myself from being a gooner? Go out, meet people.
No, you need to become a gooner. You just need to not go down the rabbit hole too deep. I'll answer it for you.
I mean, I don't know. Catholic guilt, not to do crazy shit.
So here's where things get a bit weird. So dopamine priming for the release itself feels good. The communal term would be anticipation, I guess, to an extent. Like that feeling of when you're going on a roller coaster and you're going up to the drop. You're like, this isn't the good part, but holy shit, this is intense.
Yeah.
Right. So you can just extend that experience by delaying the release of dopamine itself, which means avoiding the potential error in the expected reward and then not having the dopamine reward prediction error.
So not climaxing.
Don't climax. However...
Yeah, but then all of a sudden your video's over and like, fuck.
Well, that's when you have to go to like a Gooning Discord and you find like a 10-hour edit. Or it's just 10 hours nonstop. Or in a lot of these Discords, there's dudes who live stream with everyone's voice chat turned off in that particular call. And they're just streaming like a constant loop of
porn.
Of shit that they've got, from their own personal goon fuel collection or something. So this is where it gets confusing because the very act associated with dopamine priming will itself become something that leads to a release because you're like, you're excited for the dopamine priming, and then dopamine priming becomes the reward, and then that leads to a release.
So the release isn't even the release anymore. It's now just getting to the point where you're on that roller coaster and you keep on going up and up and up.
Up and up and up. Exactly. Right.
And that thrill is what gets you off.
Yeah. That effect of that getting into that state. So then you go into the activity with the expectation that it'll be enjoyable. And then obviously if something is going to be enjoyed, it involves some sort of neurochemical release. So your brain has to make a prediction and then it may or may not meet the expectations. So that forms the basis of gooning. One masturbates for extended periods of time without release, although the definition is debated, when some claiming that masturbation is not necessarily part of it, with the act of holding out or the porn consumption being the main act of gooning.
Edge, which would be an edging, right, or no?
Could be edging, yeah. Then you'll find guys who'll be like, oh, I was gooning all day watching porn, didn't take their dick out at one point. They were just watching porn. They were like, that's gooning. What
a waste.
Oh, no. It's just silly. So gooning at its core, it falls into an extreme version of overstimulation video content where what's doing the best is, or the most popular is going to be the thing that pushes to the more extremes because the people who are desensitized are going to find something that's more exciting. I checked out like a few.
So there is no gooning. I mean, I guess the initial stage of gooning is missionary, and then all of a sudden you go from missionary to extreme shit.
I mean, it could just start with extreme shit. It depends what you're exposed to.
All of a sudden you go straight to snuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, I looked at some videos, like occurring themes, a lot of flashing lights, like strobe light type epileptic fit inducing shit.
In the middle of your porn?
Yeah, like words on screen, but like neon lights-esque fonts with flashing, and
sounds like
there'll be edits.
Sounds like you're in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there'll be edits with multiple videos playing simultaneously. A lot of music playing in them is common as well, where someone will sync the videos to the beat as well. So they're adding all forms of stimulation that just all become associated with one another. And then it comes down to like attention spans are fried. Everyone's attention spans are fried, and people are lonely as fuck. And this forms some sort of outlet or coping mechanism for it. But what's concerning is the addiction aspect and like how heavily prevalent it is. Like a lot of content encourages addiction, encourages relapsing. If you go to like porn recovery, the subreddit. It's a gooning subreddit. It's literally just people being like, just give up, go back to porn. It's all you deserve. It's all you want, etc., etc. To the point where there's been multiple of these subreddits that get shut down because real porn addicts go in thinking like, this is it. I'm gonna get help, and then they open it, and next thing you know, they're gooning for 12 hours or whatever it is that they're doing.
They relapse.
Yep. So things like, relapse into porn addiction, fry your brain for porn, accept that porn is all that matters, all being common themes across the boards.
This is fucking interesting, Josh. You sure did your homework.
Yeah, that was like a few hours. I was going to go deeper.
Hold on. So did we answer? So you said girls are less likely to...
Considerably less. Women are even just generally less likely to watch porn.
Active. Right. But there's still some freaks out there.
There are freaks. So this is where I did a bit of research
Do you want your future girlfriend to be a gooner?
No, fuck no.
Why not?
Because I don't want someone brain damaged. That's the thing about this. So,
but she'll be like, okay, I'm ready, Josh, whenever you want to.
Or she'll spend all her time gooning.
And not want you. Right?
The thing is, like, dopamine's not just about pleasure. It's about focus and motivation and capability to even think. So when they say, like, fry your brain for porn, quite literally, you are becoming retarded as a result of it.
That's all you think of.
And then they're all like, oh, you'll go deeper into your addiction and you'll be further into this world of pleasure. And in reality, what's going to happen is you'll become increasingly desensitized. It won't be enjoyable, and you'll give yourself what's effectively porn-induced depression.
Which, yeah, I mean, I've seen that with people who've been addicted to video games and lose everything, drop out of college. A friend of mine who was in his last semester at the University of Santa Clara, engineering. I mean, bright kid, had a great job lined up, and World of Warcraft came out, and the dude wasn't eating, the dude wasn't going to class.
I've seen
which was
like that.
I thought it was fucking nuts. At first I jumped into the room to talk to see some friends, and I go, hey, where's this guy at? I don't want to use his real name, but they're like, oh, he's in rehab. I'm like, shut the fuck up. And they tell me this, and I started laughing because I didn't think it was serious. And they're like, no, for real. So I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's easy. It's a good escape. When I broke my shoulder twice, both times pretty serious. First time I did it, I had my arm like fixed to my chest, and like the shoulder was held in space with straps so that it would heal properly. Yeah, and because all I did was martial arts, I'm talking like twice a day, 7 days a week, and then it just went away. All I did was game for like 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for like 4 or 5 months.
Fuck that.
While I was waiting to recover. Super easy to
become addicted to something.
Fall into that. But on the topic of men being more likely to get addicted to porn, or I guess just being freaks in bed. So men and women are just as likely to have kinks and fetishes, but men just typically are more specific with what they want. Like a guy will be like, oh, I want you to put on Mickey Mouse ears and kick me in the balls. And she'll be like, oh, you're into like kinky submissive shit. And they'll go, no, Mickey Mouse ears, ball kicking.
That's it.
The girl will be like, I like to be submissive. And you'll be like, what? Tie me up, slap me, call me a whore, like whatever it is. But the guy's like, no, these are my things.
Specific.
Yeah. And it all comes down to that dopamine stuff. It's like, you can be a 13-year-old boy, you're at a party, the girl you got a crush on drops some cake and steps in it barefoot. And next thing you know, you're whacking it to foot porn.
Foot porn.
Yeah.
No wonder I found those Mickey Mouse ears in your room the other day, Josh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you don't put on the Mickey Mouse ears and play Hungry Hungry Hippos, how do you know who goes first?
Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the general gist of gooning.
This was interesting, man. I mean, I know we've talked about gooning a lot in the last few weeks, but thanks for one, researching the subject and then going way into depth with it. Further more than just like superficial shit, actually going into the cognitive and function on dopamine.
I could have done a deep dive on the cognitive stuff, but
maybe for that one listener,
it makes me want to look at what was that content for the next episode.
This is such a cool thing.
What do you mean the Teletubbies and
The most bizarre
okay.
theories you sent me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the
True,
asteroid
true.
was Lucifer wiping out the dinosaurs.
True,
That's a
true.
good one. What else have we got? The Garden of Eden. Okay, this one I like. I kind of look into this. They think they found the Garden of Eden like a few years ago, and it's not like a mythical religious. They think it was just an area in the Middle East that happened to be more fertile than
The
surrounding
normal.
land, so it supported a lot of plant life in a place that's generally not
Well, I
too
mean,
abundant.
if you look at it, a few thousand years ago, the Sahara Desert was a lush
Oh, like
area.
40,000 years ago,
So,
Australia was a jungle.
so it might be true.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have to see what our next topic is.
What else have I got here that I got?
The Teletubby
Jesus
one.
was a time traveler.
Jesus was a time traveler.
I can believe that.
I like the first one when I was watching something about vampires. It said Jesus was the first vampire since he died and came back to life,
I've seen a few about.
or the zombie. I forgot if it was a zombie or the first zombie or the
It had
first
to be a zombie or something.
vampire.
Yeah. So the North Pole leads to Hollow Earth. I've seen a few popping up recently on like TikTok and Instagram of people saying they've been to the edge and they're taking video and they're at the edge of an ice wall and there's forest and I'm like, this is some dude in like Siberia on the edge of like pointing it at a national forest, but
Right when the tree line starts or ends because of how cold it is, and all of a sudden you go a few hundred feet and there's a massive forest there.
it's like it's probably one of those things where like a huge ice wall surrounding an area creates a section where heat gets trapped or something and it supports plant life. But it does get back. Apparently, there was an explorer who went to the North Pole.
A pilot.
Yeah, like fucking
Right after
nearly
World War
100 years.
II,
Yeah,
right after World War II, or right before something like that.
80 years ago, and said he saw the edge
Dinosaurs
of the
inside the fucking hollow
world,
earth.
trees and shit and
Well, I mean the last two Godzilla ones. King Kong is living in the hollow earth.
Godzilla, King Kong. A lot of those ones, I don't think they exist anymore, but they're not unrealistic because there's a lot of animals that
Are being discovered.
no, the only reason they're not giant is because there's not enough food. Like crocodiles, for example.
They don't stop living, or the reason the reason they die is because they don't. They're too big to like eat anymore.
They're too big to get enough sustenance. Yeah, I mean, there's like it's pythons or anacondas can get as large as they can possibly sustain.
Anacondas, but there was a video a few months ago of they said it was a massive anaconda that looked like the size of 3 or 4 fucking school buses, but that shit looked fake.
There was a
anaconda
like that in Australia, maybe 100,000 years ago. We're talking like half the width of a bus.
There is. I'll show you a video later on, Josh. After this,
Gooning?
no, it's not Gooning. It's about there was an American soldier stationed somewhere in Central America. I forgot if it was Nicaragua or Honduras, and they were on the edge of a fucking river, just kind of doing recon with some of the local soldiers that they were training, or I don't know what the fuck they were doing. I'll have to show it to you. But they're like, hey, stop, freeze, don't move. And they said this snake that they called El Diablo, I believe, came out of the river and just ate a whole cow by itself and then slithered back into the river. So
there's some mad shit. There's an area in, I think it's Papua New Guinea, that it's surrounded by mountains and the weather conditions make it deadly to go there. So you have to get helicopters.
There's that one cave in New Guinea or something like that has its own ecosystem. That's the size. That's the size like you could fit a fucking Boeing 747 or the massive jumbo jet in there.
But there's a whole bunch of these places where you can't go because you just can't bring enough supplies with you for an extended trip.
I think mountain gorillas or one of those type of gorillas were just recently found within 100 years. So I mean, there might be places in this planet that you could still hide from, Bigfoot and shit like that. But
you think Bigfoot's real? I think Bigfoot is blurry. He's just a blurry creature, and all of those photos of him are in perfect focus.
You think he's like that smoke monster from Lost?
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. He just naturally looks like that.
Pixelated?
Yeah. Here's one, the Bermuda Triangle. I like the Bermuda Triangle.
See, hold on, stop. When I was a kid, I was so scared of the Bermuda Triangle. I was scared of quicksand, and none of that shit's real.
Yeah, the Bermuda Triangle exists. It's It's the exact same rate, like a number of things as anywhere else.
I thought they discovered that it was like some type of methane gases that were escaping from planet.
No, it just happens to be there's like a higher than average amount of flight paths through there, so there's more likely to be shit happening.
Ships and planes.
Yeah, I mean, because people aren't just like sending it straight across the ocean.
Right,
They
right.
follow coastlines and.
There's certain, because if you get lost, you don't want to get lost in a fucking.
And high sea storms are a whole different thing than near the coastline.
They're called. Have you seen those rogue waves?
Oh yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
They're insane. So we got that. What else have we got? Noah's Ark is somewhere in the Dead Sea. Antarctica is the wall of flat Earth. I do like the flat Earth stuff.
When we watched that documentary of flat Earth, those guys are fucking nuts.
Reptilians rule the world. I lived with a guy who used to think that Justin Bieber was a shape-shifting lizard man. In hindsight, very schizophrenic fella.
Oh. Who, your friend or Justin Bieber? Both?
I don't know, both. So yeah, Gooning.
Thanks, Josh.
You're welcome.
Thank you, our one listener.
If you enjoy our stuff, leave a comment. Tell us what you want us to do a little deep dive on next. Thanks for listening.
Peace out.
Peace out.